Picture this, a single kit of memory, the basic stuff that goes inside almost every computer on Earth, just doubled in price in a matter of weeks. 32 gigabytes of DDR5 random access memory, the kind you drop into a gaming rig or a work laptop, now costs at least $375. A few months ago, that same kit sold for around $100. That's not a typo. The price nearly quadrupled, and almost nobody saw it coming. Here's the part that'll make your jaw drop. The reason your gaming PC just got more expensive has nothing to do with gamers. It's artificial intelligence. The giant companies building AI data centers are buying memory chips by the truckload, and they are paying whatever it takes. When a company walks into the market with a blank check, everyone else gets pushed to the back of the line. Think of it like a handful of billionaires showing up at a small-town bakery and buying every loaf before opening time. By the time you arrive, the shelves are bare and the price has tripled. That's exactly what's happening with computer memory right now, and it isn't slowing down. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you how we got here, who's really driving this, and what it means for anyone who wants to build a computer in 2026. Because this isn't a blip. This is the start of something much bigger. And here's where it gets interesting. So how did a chip the size of your fingernail end up at the center of a global bidding war? Let's rewind. Computer memory, or RAM, is the short-term workspace your machine uses to juggle everything it's doing right now. More RAM means more room to work. For decades, the companies that make it, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, sold it as a cheap commodity. Prices drifted up and down, but a memory kit was never something you'd lose sleep over. Then the AI boom hit. Training and running large language models, the technology behind chatbots like ChatGPT, devours an almost unimaginable amount of memory. We're not talking about the regular RAM in your laptop. We're talking about a special, faster type called high bandwidth memory, HBM for short, that sits right next to AI chips and feeds them data at blistering speed. Here's the catch. The same three factories that make your everyday memory also make this premium AI memory. And every wafer they pour into HBM is a wafer they can't use for the stuff that goes in your PC. Imagine a pizza shop that suddenly lands a contract to supply an entire stadium. They've only got so many ovens. The neighborhood regulars who used to grab a slice on the way home, they're now waiting an hour and paying double. That's the squeeze in a nutshell. But the timing of this crunch is what really caught the industry off guard. Let's get under the hood, because the numbers here are genuinely staggering. A modern AI accelerator, say, one of Nvidia's data center chips, can carry well over 100 gigabytes of that premium high-bandwidth memory stacked right onto the package. Now multiply that across the millions of chips being installed this year. The big cloud players, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta have collectively pledged to spend somewhere north of $300 billion on AI infrastructure in 2026 alone. A huge chunk of that money flows straight into memory, so the factories did the rational thing. They shifted their production lines toward the high-margin AI memory and away from the ordinary kind. Micron and Samsung both signaled they are prioritizing HBM output, because one HBM stack earns them several times what a standard memory chip does. Why sell bread when you can sell wedding cakes? The result is a brutal supply crunch on regular DDR5. Reports suggest contract prices for standard memory have jumped more than 50% in a single quarter, one of the sharpest rises the industry has ever recorded. And because building a brand new memory factory takes years and tens of billions of dollars, nobody can just flip a switch and make more. The supply is locked in for the foreseeable future. So when you hear that your memory upgrade suddenly costs triple, this is the machinery behind it. But the real-world fallout is already showing up in places you might not expect. Let's make this concrete, because the pain is landing everywhere at once. Take the everyday PC builder. Someone planning a mid-range gaming machine budgeted maybe $100 for a solid 32 gigabyte memory kit a few months back. Today, they are staring at a $375 price tag for the same parts, if they can even find them in stock. That single change can blow a careful build budget apart. Then there are the laptop makers. Companies like Dell, HP, and Lenovo buy memory in enormous volumes, and analysts expect those rising costs to show up as higher sticker prices on new machines later this year. Even Apple isn't immune. Every MacBook and iPhone ships with memory inside. Game consoles feel it too. The next wave of handhelds, which lean on fast memory to keep frame rates smooth, could get pricier or thinner on specs. Here's a vivid one. Boutique system builders are reportedly buying memory the moment it lands because the price tomorrow might be higher than today. It's like a bank run, but for RAM. People are hoarding because they are scared the shelves empty out. One retailer described customers buying 2 kits instead of 1 just to lock in today's price before it climbs again. That panic buying only tightens the screw further. So the squeeze isn't some distant data center problem, it's already in your local computer shop. And this is where the tension really kicks off. So how does this stack up against memory crunches we've seen before? Because the PC world has been here sort of. Back in 2017 and 2018, memory prices spiked hard too, but that shortage was driven by smartphones and a straightforward supply lag. The factories simply couldn't keep up with demand, then caught up, and prices fell back down within a year or so. This time is different, and that difference matters. The 2018 spike was a wave. What we are seeing now looks more like a tide that isn't going back out. Why? Because AI demand isn't a one-off product cycle. Every major tech company is racing to build ever larger models, and each new generation needs more memory than the last, not less. Compare the two situations side by side. In 2018, when phone demand cooled, the memory flowed back to PCs. In 2026, there's no sign of AI demand easing. If anything, it's accelerating. Some analysts now warn this elevated pricing could stick around well into 2027. Think of the old shortage as a traffic jam that clears once rush hour ends. This one's more like a brand new highway permanently routing all the traffic somewhere else. There's also a key contrast in who's affected. Back then, mostly enthusiasts felt the pinch. Today it reaches laptops, consoles, phones, and servers all at once. The blast radius is far wider, but here's what most coverage gets wrong about where this is actually heading. Let's talk about what this really means, because the ripple effects go way beyond a pricey memory kit. First, the obvious one. If you're building or buying a PC this year, expect to pay more or settle for less. A machine that would have had 32 gigabytes might now ship with 16 to hit the same price. That's a real downgrade hiding behind a familiar sticker. Second, there's a deeper shift in power. The memory makers have discovered that AI customers will pay almost anything, which means consumers are no longer their priority. When your needs come second to $1 trillion AI arms race, you lose leverage. Third, and this should worry the whole industry, it raises the cost of computing across the board. Cloud services, the servers behind your favorite apps, even car infotainment systems all rely on memory. As that cost climbs, it quietly seeps into the price of nearly everything digital. Here's a sobering comparison. Global memory revenue is projected to smash past $200 billion this year, with the AI slice growing fastest of all. That's a colossal transfer of value toward whoever controls the chips, and it hands enormous strategic weight to just 3 companies and the regions where they build. Memory has quietly become one of the most contested resources on the planet, right up there with oil and rare earth metals. Most people have no idea their gaming PC is now caught in a global power struggle. But here's the kicker. So what can you actually do about it? Let's get practical, because there are smart moves here. First, if your current PC works fine, this is not the moment to upgrade memory unless you truly need it. Waiting out a price spike is often the wisest play. Prices this high tend to cool eventually, even if it takes a year or two. Second, if you genuinely need to build now, buy only the memory you actually use. Resist the urge to max out at 64 or 128 gigabytes just because it sounds future-proof. For most people, 16 or 32 gigabytes is plenty, and at these prices, every kit counts. Third, check the second-hand market carefully. As some enthusiasts upgrade other parts, perfectly good memory kits show up used at far gentler prices. Just test them properly before you trust them. Fourth, watch for laptop and pre-built deals from before the price hike. Retailers often hold older stock priced under the new rates. A built machine might quietly be the cheaper path right now. And fifth, time your purchase. Memory pricing moves in cycles, so set a price alert and pounce when it dips. Patience genuinely pays here. The one trap to avoid: panic buying because a headline scared you. That herd behavior is part of what's driving prices up in the first place. Stay calm, buy only what you need, and let the frenzy pass you by. Because once you see the full picture, the right move becomes obvious. So here's what this all means for you. The next time a gaming PC or a laptop costs more than you expected, you'll know the real reason, and it isn't greed at your local shop. It's a once-in-a-generation collision between the AI boom and the humble memory chip that powers everything we build. 3 factories, a flood of AI money, and a sudden scramble have rewritten the cost of computing almost overnight. What should you watch for next? Keep an eye on whether Samsung, Micron, and SK Hynix announce new factories. Those take years, but they are the only real release valve. Watch whether AI spending finally cools, which would send memory flowing back to the rest of us. And track the prices on standard DDR5 kits as a kind of early warning gauge for the whole industry. If they keep climbing, the squeeze is deepening. If they ease, relief is on the way. For now, the smart play is simple. Buy only what you need, time your purchase. And don't let panic make the decision for you. This story is a perfect reminder that the AI revolution isn't just happening in some distant data center, it's reaching right into the box on your desk and the wallet in your pocket. If this helped the pieces click into place, follow for daily AI news. I break down one of these stories every single day. I'll see you in the next one.